What's going on, everyone? Welcome to a new episode of Mostly Wrong Opinions. I am Tyrone. That is Devin. Could you do us a favor real quick? Can you rush over there to that subscribe button, just like Sonic, and hit it?
Or else what, you big loser?
Speaking of Sonic, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is out right now, and that is the movie we're reviewing right now. Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
After dismal box office returns and an actual worldwide disaster, the COVID pandemic, only a smattering of people are returning to the movie theaters. It's now mostly a place for parents to have their kids babysat for a few hours by Spider-Man, Free Guy, or a new Disney product. Babysat for a few hours.
Babysat for a few hours. Babysat.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2 brings back everybody from the first film that came out in 2020. First movie came out in 2020, and now it's 2022.
Oh, it came fast,
like,
yeah.
It came so fast, like Sonic did, because it's like, it's like y'all had the script right there ready and y'all expected the first one to do so well that y'all had the budget to finish this thing.
I know why it came out fast, because they ain't had no script. What you talking about? What script? I'm gonna try as I can to describe what happened in this film. It's gonna be really freaking hard because there's really no story. Sonic exists, and
damn, God.
What happens in the movie, dude? I don't know. Sonic is here, and Dr. Robotnik, he was left in the mushroom world after the first one, and he gets out. Knuckles just happens to hear his signal. It just turns out that Knuckles also just happens to have a rivalry with Sonic's race. And so they just happen to have a common enemy in Sonic. So they go to find Sonic, but it turns out Knuckles isn't all that interested in Sonic. He really just wants the Emerald Gem thing or whatever that from the video game. And boy, oh boy, that's about it, man. And nothing else happens. And a lot of that, as you can hear me say, is built on like happenstance. It just so happens that Dr. Robotnik happens to find Knuckles, and Knuckles happens to understand what a Sonic is, and Knuckles happens to have a rivalry with Sonic's people, and Sonic just happens to have the Chaos Emerald Gem that Knuckles wants. But it also just happens to be Sonic's destiny to protect the gem.
Just happens to get a friend that's from the universe.
That's right. Tails just happens to have been watching Sonic from afar.
Creepy.
And he just happens to find out that Knuckles is coming after Sonic. And he also just happens to understand that this is bad. And so they all come together. Bro, the story is trash. It's complete nonsense. It doesn't make any sense. The little bit that's there, but to its credit, the movie does not take itself seriously at all, especially not Jim Carrey. So I guess that's okay. That the movie's not really. It's got a bad plot or no plot, but the movie, it's not like it's trying to tell you a plot and it's failing like Mortal Kombat. It's like this. It's not here. It's just no plot at all. This movie is a series of images, and we are just trying to get characters that we know from the video game in the same frame, right? And so every plot device is trying to put Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails in a row together, just stand together in a frame. And that's it.
But what about the heartwarming family attachment that James Marsden and Tamika Sopner, they all have that family thing.
And what's interesting about that is they cut that down like a lot from the first movie. Like I could tell a lot of people were upset that we spent so much time with the humans. So the movie opens up and he's like, go to Hawaii.
He's like, deuce.
Go to Hawaii. Get out of my movie. And they're like, okay, bye. And they leave. And that's it, So the movie, you spend a lot of time looking at a CGI Sonic standing next to like real world locations. And man, I feel like it doesn't mix very well because I thought the animation at some spots looked really bad. And I'm not a guy that gets on animation like that. So I'm like, whatever. I understand that Sonic, fine, whatever. But at some points, I'm like, this looks really bad. And then when there are humans there, their eye lines are all over the place. Like they're like, Sonic, make sure you come over to the house. And the next time they're like, yes, okay, this way. And I'm like, what are you looking at? I can tell you don't see Sonic. It's a hard movie to review because I don't think this movie is trying to tell me a story. I'm there for the story, but it's really just trying to get these characters in a room together.
Yeah,
and that's it.
The reason that they're trying to get these characters in a room together because they're trying to bank on what people and kids know is just these characters. The problem that I had about this film is 2 hours long. I was like,
2 hours of nothing. There's no plot.
What are we doing? I was like, y'all need to cut this thing down to 1 hour and 30, man.
Yeah.
Okay. There was one part that I just hated. I hated it so much.
What's that?
I wanted to hurl at the screen for this. Like, I want to be like,
okay.
The whole wedding.
The way you like the wedding?
Oh my gosh, dude. I was like, what is Shamar Moore doing in this with his shirt off playing volleyball with James Marsden, the James Marsden feeling like less of a man? Just all of it, go away. And then they just had the whole comic thing of Tamika Sumter's sister in here being upset about the wedding. And I'm like...
But see, I kind of understood why they beefed up her part because she spent the bulk of the first movie tied to a chair. And
yeah, she did.
So she was like pretty disrespected, not only like in the real world, with just her characters being stuck on a chair the whole time, but also within the Sonic universe. So I feel like they tried to give her a little bit more to do here. And I thought she was kind of funny. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. But the thing about this movie is it feels a lot like a Marvel movie. It looks like a Marvel movie, and it has a lot of the check boxes of a Marvel movie, except it's missing the story. It's like someone saw a Marvel movie, and they're like, copy that, and they did that really quick. They forgot that what Marvel does really well, it's not getting these characters in a room to stand next to each other, which they do a lot too, but they tell you a story. So when they finally do get in the room together, you're really excited, not just because you recognize the characters, but because you understand the stakes, you understand who this guy is to this guy. So you just, I don't know, it's just basic story shit, right? But I feel like I'm dunking on a film that really, it didn't fail at telling the story. It's not trying, right? There's no attempt. Yeah. So there is one guy in this movie who knows this really, really well. He knows that there's no story here, and he takes full advantage of it, and that's Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey is over the top. He's nonsense the whole time, and thank God for Jim Carrey, because if it wasn't for him, I think this movie would be absolutely unwatchable. But every scene with Jim Carrey in it lights up.
Perfect casting for Dr. Robotnik.
Yeah, and not the casting I would have ever thought for Dr. Robotnik, because Dr. Robotnik is like short and fat and bald, and then you're like, that's not Jim Carrey. But to me, I'm like, this feels like Dr. Robotnik. It's great, and he kind of made it his own. So like, I thought Jim Carrey did a really, really good job with nothing, dude. Nothing. There's no plot, right? There's nothing here. And I was like, is he ad-libbing this whole thing? I could not tell.
He probably could have.
I don't know.
He probably could have, man. And that's how talented Mr. Carrey is. Because in the first film, I was like, this doesn't look like Dr. Robotnik. He just looks like some militant asshole. But in the second one now, he actually looks like he got the red jacket on. He has the goggles. The mustache is more flamed out. He's bald.
Right. They surrounded him with all the Robotnik, symbols. And again, but to his credit, like he understood this movie, right? He read the script and he was like, oh, you just want me to be silly. I would watch a movie with just Robotnik. We can with the plot too, with the story, please. But we can cut out Sonic and Knuckles and stuff. But I really enjoyed.
But let's talk about Knuckles real quick. Knuckles, played by Idris Elba. He's supposed to be the antagonist in this film, like you said earlier. And he's like, I got to get, how Idris Elba is. I got to get the emerald back for my people.
I thought what was really funny is Knuckles was voiced by a black guy, and he's got like dreadlocks, and he's wearing Tim's. That was hilarious. But I don't think the movie realized how funny that was. I think that was like unintentional.
I think Idris did just his voice work.
Yeah, fine.
Was good. Was fine. The person that played Tails is actually the same person who played Tails in the recent video games.
Yeah, and you can tell.
They was just like, let's just bring her back.
Yeah.
I was in the theater with a bunch of kids, and they were like laughing and giggling up. Some of their parents were laughing and giggling up. I didn't laugh too much in here. Only time I laughed was when Jim Carrey was doing his thing. Anytime that Sonic was on there just doing this thing, acting like a kid. I was like, I want to slap you.
I
want to slap you, man.
I went to the movie really late. I went to like a late showing. And so my theater was probably a little bit more adults than kids. And at the theater I go to, they'll kick you out if you make too much noise. So it's not kid friendly at all, which I love. That's great.
they smack kids and be like, yo, son, yo, I know you 5 and everything, but I don't need all that up in my theater, man. Get out of here, B.
Amen. But so there weren't that many kids, but there were a couple. And I noticed, because there were like, in front of me was a row of some kids and mostly adults. But I noticed that the adults enjoyed a lot of the callbacks better than the kids. And I think that's because Sonic was big during our generation. And right now, Sonic video games are not that popular. Ironically, the Sonic movies are a million times more popular than the video games, which is really funny.
Just a fun fact for you guys. A brand new open world Sonic game is coming out for the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. And it's the first one that's open world. So I think because of the success of this film that was coming out, they actually had the courage to get through and start and do this. So
yeah, there was a sequence where Knuckles, it's like a flashback sequence where Knuckles is talking about how his people were rivals with Sonic's people and on and on and on. And some of that was animated, like hand-drawn animation. And it looked like an anime. And I was like, that looks awesome. I was like, that looks cool. I should have done the whole movie like that. And then the movie cuts back to Sonic looking like ass, standing there next to like a real life human. I'm like, ugh, damn.
Now come on. Sonic didn't look too much like ass. He looked like ass in the beginning, cut before the fans got on them and tell them to change it. That was real ass.
No, I'm not talking about his design. I'm talking about the CGI, the technology. It just didn't look. He didn't look like he meshed well with the real world. Like because again, it's like he's animated, but he's standing next to real life people, and I didn't think he mixed very well. When it's hand drawn, or when it's made to look hand drawn, like say Space Jam, it kind of works better because you're like, okay, obviously, it's not photorealistic, but they're trying to make Sonic look photorealistic, and it looks like CGI. So I don't know. It didn't.
It just looks like he doesn't belong.
Yeah, and I wish they'd animated the whole film. How come everything, the background, everything? How come it couldn't have all been CGI? Why just Sonic? Like I didn't think it meshed very well.
Let's just get to the rating of Sonic the Hedgehog 2. The pros of this film: Jim Carrey.
Oh, you know another pro? It ends. The movie ends. So that's always nice.
But way too late. 2 hours was just so ridiculous, and they needed that wedding scene. All of that was the most annoying thing.
That's funny.
I'm telling you, I wanted to walk out because of that. But I'm not gonna kill this film because stay to the after credit scene because there is a surprise at the end credit scene. Of course, if you're a fan of Sonic, you're gonna know what this person is or what this character is coming in. You're gonna be like, oh, okay, so they definitely banking on some money to be made this weekend. So
yeah, a little Easter egg at the end. Again, like a Marvel movie, like a movie thinks it's a Marvel.
Marvel.
It forgot that Marvel actually tells stories. So
yeah. I'm rating this film a 6.
Great, a 6. I'm giving this one a 5.5. I thought this was a categorically bad movie, but it's not because it's failed. It's because it's not trying. Right? It's not. The movie makes no attempt to tell a story, which is interesting. I don't think I've seen that very many movies outside of like maybe some kind of experimental film that really does not try, right? The movie is very, very loose, which is great for an actor like Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey saw this, and this is like a playground for him, right? And boy, oh boy, did he play it. So I thought Jim Carrey was great. Everybody else was phoning it in. I thought the CGI for Sonic looked weird next to real world locations. So as an adult, I say don't bother with this. As a kid, I think your mileage may vary because there are better kid movies out there for you to watch if you're a kid. But if you just really like Sonic, if you're a kid and you just like this character Sonic, I think you probably like this movie because Sonic is there and he looks like Sonic. Mm-hmm. So if that's your bar, you probably like it. But if you want like a story, it ain't here. There's no story here. I was like, wow, they're not trying. they really just, it's like gag after gag and needle drop song after needle drop song. You know, all the pop hits will play. And the credits roll.
Yeah, so I gave this film a 6. Devin gave this film a 5.5. If you're an adult and you just want to check it out, wait until this comes out on Paramount Plus. Just wait. If you're this wait. That is our review for Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Thank you for clicking on this video. You right there, sitting down there, eating your bowl of cereal. You are great. Thank you. All right. But you might want to switch from Captain Crunch to Cheerios. Now, go ahead. So specific, right? Hit that subscribe button. Just do it. It's right there to the right. You would love it. And
it's better than the Sonic movie.
Hey, and if you liked our review for this channel, hit that thumbs up. It really does help out the channel. Or you can hit the thumbs down and you could be like, Sonic the Hedgehog, say anything with Sega Genesis, or Sega Saturn, or Sega, or Dreamcast, and everything like that was great. I can't wait for a crazy taxi film. Okay, like, Sega is amazing.
Like a Kid Trump or something. That was really funny.
Everything is amazing, okay? Whatever it is your opinion. But just remember one thing. It's mostly wrong. See you in another video.